So after the Cleveland Cavaliers got bounced in 5 games to the New York Knicks in the first round last season, the Donovan Mitchell rumors really started to heat up, and they never slowed down. As a Cavs fan myself, it hurts to talk about this, but if the Cavs make an early exit in this year's playoffs again, changes will need to be made. And that does mean Cleveland should trade Mitchell and get what they can now before he walks. And honestly, I may be the first to say this, but I think Spida is a little bit overrated. He's obviously a great All-NBA player, he puts up great stats in both the regular and postseason, but when it comes to leading a team, he's not a guy that makes you a contender. And what I've noticed in last year's playoffs and this year's is that he tends to have great games early on in a series, but then he will disappear when things start to go wrong later on. I really did believe in the core of Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, and Allen, but I've come to the realization that those guys aren't going to sniff a finals appearance in the next 5 years, and because of that, the Cavs either need to retool or rebuild, and I have the perfect trade that allows them to do that. The Miami Heat are a team that is talented enough and coached well enough to make it to the finals, but with the injuries that Jimmy Butler always has to deal with, they need a second superstar, and they have enough young talent to give back to Cleveland to make this deal happen. Heat fans all of last offseason wanted to get Damian Lillard so bad, and it didn't happen, which frustrated so many of them. And after a most likely first round exit this year to the Celtics following another Jimmy Butler injury, I think there is no better time than now to make this trade. The Heat could send over something like Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, and 2 firsts, or a mix of different things along those lines. And getting Donovan Mitchell would instantly make this Heat team a contender, having Spida, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo. I know it's pretty much proven at this point that big threes do not work in the NBA, but I don't think this will be the case for a Heat team ran by the best head coach in the league, and overall, Heat culture just knows how to win. I think Donovan Mitchell would really thrive on the Heat. I think the main reason things haven't worked out in Cleveland is because of the fall off of Darius Garland. Dude is absolute cheeks and is getting paid supermax money. So the Cavs have not been able to surround Mitchell with much outside of the young bigs because there was just no cap to work with. Max Strus is inconsistent, George Niang sucks, LeVert can't shoot, and Merrill doesn't play a ton of minutes. I think Donovan would do so well being a number 2 option on the Heat, or second number 1 option if that sounds better. He really had to do everything for Cleveland this year, and the funny thing to me is that when Garland and Mobley were out for a few months, the Cavs played better with just Mitchell and Allen, sort of like how the Jazz had it when it was just him and Gobert. I think Mitchell is a point guard, and the Cavs have had to use him as an undersized shooting guard, and with how much of a liability that Garland is on the defensive end, Mitchell can't make up for it. And from there, you're asking the bigs to carry all the weight defensively, and even though both of them are incredible at protecting the rim, their inability to shoot on the offensive end really holds the team back. So on the Cavs side of things, I think they should trade Garland, get whatever they can for him, which won't be much considering his contract. Really, it would be more of a contract dump off. They should get a haul from the Miami Heat for Mitchell. They should trade Strus for like a first or something along those lines, and then I'm sure they could get a haul for Jared Allen at this point as well. And then from there, you can rebuild around Evan Mobley, hoping that 3 years from now, he can go down the path of Giannis, and he will be surrounded by shooting with Tyler Hero. Another path Cleveland could go down is trying to get one last stint with LeBron James. This one is highly unlikely, but at this point in time, it's definitely a possibility. But no matter what happens, Mobley and Allen have to be broken up, because 2 non-shooting bigs on the court together ruins the spacing, and Garland and Mitchell don't make each other better, and the recent play of Garland has been pitiful. As for the Miami Heat, like I said, they would have Mitchell, Butler, and Bam. And we all know about their ability to produce valuable role players out of nowhere, so I think they will be just fine trading away some of their depth for a guy like Mitchell. We saw how good this Heat team truly is last year. They made it to the finals as a play-in team, stunning many teams that were heavy championship favorites. Jimmy Butler just takes things to another level in the postseason, and really to me, the main problem has been that they don't care about the regular season, which makes the mountain to climb in the playoffs very tall. And with Donovan Mitchell, you will be around a 50-win team every single year, and he's so young that if you commit, you can get a good 5 years out of him. One stat I recently saw about Mitchell that really surprised me is that he is 6th all-time behind LeBron James in playoff points per game. So the narrative behind him that he's a playoff choker just isn't true. He actually elevates his game. But like I said, he just isn't a great leader, and when things get hard, he often disappears. But in Miami, he wouldn't have to be the leader, and they have a great system in place. But even Mitchell himself said, "I'm very disappointed in myself" after the Cavs Game 4 loss to the Magic. Mitchell had 18 points, 6 assists, and 6 turnovers in the game, shooting 5 of 14 from the field and 1 of 4 from deep. He was outstanding for Cleveland in Game 1, putting up 30 points as the Cavs won 97-83. He had a solid Game 2 with 23 points and 8 rebounds in that win, but in the 2 losses, the Magic frustrated Mitchell, holding him to 11 of 30 shooting across games 3 and 4, but those struggles have been the case for most of Cleveland's starting 5. The Cavs shot 47.2% from the field and an abysmal 23.5% from 3 in Saturday's loss. The Cavs still have yet to win a playoff series in a long time without LeBron James, and Mitchell just has to come through and lead this team to victory. I'm not saying they have to beat the Celtics in round 2, but for Koby Altman to build this team with all this talent and not even get past the first round twice in a row is just a gut punch. But with the way things are going, it looks like the Magic will win this series, and as soon as that happens, JB Bickerstaff needs to instantly be fired, and honestly, Koby Altman and some of the higher up guys might also be on the bubble. If I was in charge of things, I would just completely rebuild. It's just going to be the fastest way to get where they want to be. I thought this big four would work, but spacing wise, it just doesn't. Mobley has progressed slower than expected, Garland completely fell off, so basically, it's just Mitchell and Allen doing everything, and they are getting exposed when it matters most. It's definitely going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening with this whole thing. Obviously, a lot of it will depend on the final outcome of the Magic series. As a Cavs fan who believed in the guys on this team for so long, I've honestly just been disappointed in what has happened. And even just 5 days ago, when the Cavs were up 2-0, I thought all was well. But it looks like changes are gonna have to be made, and a trade with the Miami Heat just makes the most sense in so many ways. I'm honestly just so ready for all of this drama to be over, because all season long as a Cleveland fan, all I heard was how Mitchell is leaving and the Cavs are frauds, and while it may have been true, it just wasn't a fun season to watch outside of the huge mid-season win streak. And if there's a team that really does want Mitchell and will go out of their way to get him, they can have him. He's good, but he's not that good. Hopefully some team will overpay. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point in the video, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And with the NBA season wrapping up, there is about to be so much to talk about both on and off the court. So let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.